Hey, this is Ivan, and I'm trying something new. I'm outside. I was just thinking this morning, and some things came to me. Have you ever seen the horror movie The Blob, where like they take this stick and they stick it into the goop, and then the goop just swallows up his arm, and then it takes over his whole body, and it swallows him up? Or Spider-Man. I keep having this image of Spider-Man, I think it was Spider-Man 3, where the black stuff just covers his whole body and it just takes over his face and it just consumes him. And I keep having that image, and that image, I believe Holy Spirit keeps bringing it back to me. It's like sin, how just sin just can take over our body and just consume our lives. And Holy Spirit had me kind of look at it a different way, because we think it's something that takes us over from the outside. You know, first part of it was like in the horror movies, you know, there's always this draw to go see. You know, there's this big crater and it's smoking, and everybody in the theater's like, no, don't go near it, don't go near it. Of course, what do? They go near it because they have to see. They have to go and look inside, and you know what happens every time they get close to it. The thing or whatever jumps out and grabs them or takes them over or possesses their body. And it's the same way with sin. We have a desire to get close to it, to know, a curiosity, just like Adam and Eve. You know, Eve had to go and see the fruit, and she touched it, and we know what happened. And it's the same way with certain things in our lives. You know, whether it's like pornography, or it's going to a bookstore, a peep show, something new, something that we haven't seen. Maybe it's going to a bathhouse, or going to a place where prostitutes hang out, or whatever it is that, you know, the lure captures you and draws you closer and closer until you seemingly get taken over by it. And the way the Holy Spirit had me look at it today was, it's not so much that it takes you over from the outside in, but from the inside out. And I want to read you a passage from Hebrews 3, verse 12. It says, I'm gonna read it from the King James, then I'm going to read it from the Amplified. It says, and I'm outside, so you may hear traffic, but I'm doing that because my girls are here, and you know, they're inside asleep. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief in departing from the living God. Let me read it in the Amplified. Therefore beware, brethren, take care lest there be in any one of you a wicked, unbelieving heart, which refuses to cleave to, trust in, and rely on Him, leading you to turn away and desert or stand aloof from the living God. There's another one that talks about, here we go. This is the one I want, NIV actually. Verse 13, it says, but encourage one another daily, as long as it is called today, so that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. Let's see if I have that here we go. I'm going to read it out of the Amplified. It says, that none of you be hardened and into settled rebellion by the deceitfulness of sin. Let's see if I can. Same thing in the King James says, hardened through the deceitfulness of sin, and what it's talking about is hardening your heart. So really what happens, the more we give into sin, our heart gets hardened on the inside. It's not something that happens on the outside, but inside our heart becomes hardened and less and less sensitive to God. Our heart becomes harder and harder the more we give way to that curiosity for sin. The more we get closer to it, the more we indulge in it, we get hardened from the inside out. And it's something that maybe if we had a blob or a Spider-Man kind of like black thing taking us over from the outside, maybe we could see it, you know, and turn and run in terror from what we're seeing happening. But because the thing is taking us over from the inside, because our heart's getting hardened on the inside, we don't see it. And we don't realize it maybe until it's too late, that things that we used to resist and things we used to run from, we don't run from them anymore. We don't understand why. It's because the damage is taking place on the inside. We become hardened on the inside. We don't know that we've drifted away. Hebrews 2 talks about be careful that we not drift away from or neglect our salvation. You know, it's because just like Sodom and Gomorrah, we read the story of Lot. First he pitched his tent towards Sodom. Then the next thing you know, he was living in Sodom. You know, and that's the way we are, you know, with usually something new. You know, sin wants to take you deeper depths. If you're just looking at porn, then you got to go have a different variety. You got to see threesomes. You got to see orgies. You got to see bisexuality. You got to see, you know, 2 women, 2 men, whatever. You got to see whips and leather. You got to see, you know, different kind of things. You know, maybe you got to go to a peep show. Maybe you got to go to a strip bar. You know, it just takes you to higher and higher levels. And on the inside, your heart's just getting harder and harder and harder. And it's a hard place to get out of. You know, sometimes, you know, even in my own life right now, I'm going through something where I just thought I could get close to this one person. And, you know, it's almost like it's like the Blob. You know, just by getting close to that person, it just consumed me from the inside out. And I didn't realize how far away I had gotten from God. And you know, and I'm struggling to recover my heart and to make it soft and responsive to God again, and to put off, you know, Galatians 5 says, be not entangled again in the yoke of bondage. That's that whole, again, that Spider-Man thing. We had all the black webs all over him. You know, if you get close to it, it will entangle you, you know, and Hebrews 12 talks about, let me just flip over there. Hebrews 12 talks about says, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us. In Amplified it says, let us throw aside every encumbrance and unnecessary weight and that sin which so readily, deftly, and cleverly clings to and entangles us. You know, sin, if you get too close to it, it just entangles you. Then you want to get free and you can't. And you're struggling to get free. It's like stepping into a spider web. You know, it doesn't look harmless, but as soon as you touch it, you realize that you can't get away from it. You know, and there's something in it that's going to come to get you to try to consume you. It's the same way with sin. And again, like I said, just the analogy Holy Spirit gave me is it's something that happens from the inside out. We don't see it. It's so insidious that it starts changing our heart. It makes it less responsive to God and hard towards God. And then next thing you know, our heart's hardened on the inside and we don't know it. And then all the things that we're doing on the outside show up, where we're having sex or we're masturbating or we're doing things we never thought we would do. And the reason is because our hearts become so hard on the inside.